Hello and welcome.
We return once again to Tamriel. I believe we're up in Skyrim at the moment, aren't we?
Yes. Was it shift?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but we have returned.
Yeah, I had a bit of a refresher course, i.e. the last recording we did. And basically we're off for the Elden Grove.
Alright.
Now.
There's only 3 areas that have elves. It's probably not Morrowind, since I imagine it's going to involve Red Mountain. Yeah,
so it's either Somerset Isle or Valenwood.
Now, when I think groves, I think wood elves.
Yeah. Though, to be fair, I'm not that familiar with Somerset.
Yeah.
So, I guess we ask around. Now, where is...
The Elden Grove. What's heard of that in the past 500 years? Who did we just ask for the... I'm curious. Let's find out who the people we asked for are. Where is Elden Grove? Honestly, I don't think we're going to have much luck finding the Elden Grove here in Skyrim.
Yeah, but maybe a wizard can tell us. I know I saw one of these buggers somewhere.
There it is.
Okay.
Where is the Elden Grove? We tried near Valenwood.
Okay. It's up. Aha. Guessed right. Alright. No. There. So, go to Valenwood, and I guess the nearest one.
Yeah. Amusingly, we're actually getting into completely uncharted territory for me.
Yep.
I did play as a kid, but I didn't get into... Ooh. We've arrived in the city-state of Aranthia in Valenwood Province. The date is Tyrannus, 8th of Rain's Hand in the year 3rd Era 391. It took 24 days to reach your goal. Named after the first king of the Wood Elves, Aranthia is regal in bearing and noble in stature. The city seems quiet and dignified, for her guards are reputed to be honorable warriors, but dangerous foes. Let's see Valenwood.
Yep.
It's the middle of the night.
Balls. Okay.
So I say we save, and then...
Yep, we save. Because I have a feeling I'm about to reduce the crime rate.
Let's take the sword out to do that.
I think I'm about to do contribution. Ah, here we go.
Ah, there's an inn right here. Never mind.
Let's say, I thought I was about to do contributions to the population. Alright, so we'll give it a good 8 hours.
So, get a room. No reason to get more than a single. Save for one day. Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, for a while. 24.
We don't go for 24 hours. It'll take us this time tomorrow.
Right. Okay. 8.
Yeah. You wake up. That door opening sound is weirdly nostalgic for me.
Yep.
Now you have to actually check your map to find your way out of your room.
Yeah.
Now, time to start harassing passersby.
Good day, good elf. Good beardy elf. But I did overhear a man in a bar talk of something on Earth in Elden Root. In Elden Root. Hope that information helps. Okay,
I'm assuming Elden Root's a town.
So let's take a look.
Thank you, my beardy elf friend. Let's see. Moonstone Fall. Elden Root, there we are.
Oh, there we go.
Major city. Let's go.
Alright. Gestures Day.
These guild finds particular attention as everyone looks for pickpockets in particular.
Is that right? Bring it.
I love the look of the stained glass at night, though. So one thing that I was thinking of for a possible conversation topic, just because we just had to go through and identify information.
You have survived tests most dire. Continue along this path, however, and you will face such things as to make your very heart freeze. I will save you the ordeal, for my servants approach you even now. From your mangled corpse, I will take what is mine.
It will make your heart freeze now, will it?
Oh, I'm cursed, am I? That sucks. Okay.
You each have anything worth picking up? $5 gold and a non-magical staff.
Yeah. Praise!
I'm actually not sure what being cursed does. It's been a while.
I remember not caring when it happens. I remember it really wasn't that big a deal.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's see what happens. I think
get
I gotta get a room.
Praise! Except... Yes.
Just cleaned it last month.
I'll take it. I'm on the road. Okay. So we're gonna rest for about... Yeah.
Are you still cursed?
Yeah. I'm not even sure what that does. Yeah, it might affect my magic defense, but I'm not even sure about that.
Okay, I completely forgot what being cursed does.
Forgive us, folks. This has been a while. In RPGs, especially, if you haven't played a specific RPG in a while, you will be disoriented, which is entirely my fault. But whatever.
Yeah. We've been busy. We were moving. We're recording from a new space now, so.
Yep. Got a brand new computer chair, which is very nice. Okay, so Elden Grove. I think many who think the queen of the city knows the real location and guards that knowledge.
Guards that knowledge.
The guards that have knowledge or something like that.
I'm curious. Can we just talk to her and find out who it is gave us that helpful hint? Who are you? Working on a translation of Dark Elvish poetry. Thank you, Mina Moslake.
Dark Elf poetry. Ooh, I could tell you a few things about that, maybe. Have you ever heard of Berenzia?
Now, my guess is the castle's up at the top wall.
Yeah, alright, northeast.
Yeah.
Right there, so. Alright, onward.
But yes, we have a new and less squeaky chair, which is nice.
Yep. Well, yeah, you used to have a rocking chair.
Yes.
Hello, stone. Now I have a new computer chair. It's great. Oh, what a year it's been.
Yeah.
Inside the audience chamber of Yolandra, Queen of Elden Root, the new sprouts of spring die young, and the perfume of fresh blossom turns to a sickly stench. Yolandra is rumored to have angered the city-state oracle, who placed upon the queen a curse of poor health. The political change has been very noticeable in such a city-state where a tradition is of highest importance.
Things are going poorly here.
I say her.
Yes.
Yay! Because I will choose my words wisely. What up, Queen?
You ask us for the location of the Elden Grove, birthplace of the sacred first tree? Such knowledge has a price. Over the past year, we have seen our beautiful Valenwood change. Parts have become unsafe for travelers. Others have turned dark and sinister, leeching away the very earth blood from the soil. Alcreon, the greatest of war masters, found the bodies of our people sucked dry of all fluid. They lay wasted, living and dead that had no memories of their former existence. Sadly, they had to be destroyed. 10 of our rangers left to search the Valenwood forest, hoping for a clue to this mystery. 2 months later, their severed heads were delivered to us by an emissary of someone who calls herself Celine, High Priestess of Shegorath, the God of Spiders.
Oh, Shagrath.
Shagrath, not Shegorath. I'm sorry. She delivered to us the ultimatum: surrender Valenwood or die. We are not a fighting people and have no standing army. We prefer to dwell amongst the trees of Mother Earth, rejoicing in the commune of the land. We cannot stand against Celine and her spider warriors. I fear an end to my people and our way of life. You seem to be a strong and formidable adventurer. I implore you, put an end to her threat against us. I will inscribe on your map location area referred to as Celine's Web, site of our supposed surrender. Somewhere in those dark corridors lays the one thing that can safeguard us from her greed. Somewhere in the fortress lies her heart. It is said to be a great jewel, which she has infused with her life force. If you bring us this jewel, she would not dare attack us with her life in the balance. If you are successful, we will share with you the sacred knowledge of the Elven Grove. Will you help us?
Sure.
You are truly a compassionate soul. Know this, Celine's Web lies near the city of Elven Root. I pray, be careful. She is a powerful sorceress who consorts with the undead. I wish thee luck upon thy quest. Queen Yolanda inscribes the location of Celine's Web onto your map.
You know, it always annoys me that we are not the fighting people. Like, yeah, you are. You made a city, fought against predators, and probably a few angry neighbors in the past. Like, every civilization has been like that. So I always cringe a bit when it's like, we are not a fighting people. Meanwhile, yeah, I might be a wood elf warrior, for all the dialogue knows.
Yes.
Anyway, that was my Theodore tangent.
Yeah. I will say, if you accidentally hit any of the people here, you'd find out exactly how much of a fighting people they are.
Yeah.
Guards will keep spawning.
Oh, wow, it's right there.
Oh, that's practically next door. Let's go!
Celine's Web, that sounds familiar.
Well, now that we're here, I say we ought to save.
Oh, yeah.
Probably in the rat slot.
Yeah, the rat slot. Oh, right. Almost forgot.
Light.
Aziz, light! Thank you.
The dank woody corridor leads into Celine's Web. The smell of wet earth. I missed that last line.
Aziz, text! Never mind then.
Guess we don't get text.
Aziz! Anyway.
Yeah, let's see if we can find her heart.
Alright. Listen, I don't think we got a time limit, do we?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Good. Okay.
Nothing useful. What was I about to say? It's weirdly common for the MacGuffin in the stories to be some evil lady's heart, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm thinking the Suicide Squad movie, which I haven't actually seen, but I've seen plenty of reviews of.
And frankly, the reviews are much more interesting than the actual movie.
Fair enough. You have actually seen it, right?
Yeah, and it sucked. It was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Like, I've seen some doozies. I even enjoy, Valerian a lot more than, anything from Suicide Squad.
Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets is an interesting one.
Yeah, that one's at least interesting. This is just, obviously, some boring execs trying to, copy Marvel for the umpteenth time.
Which is kind of a shame because it's not that the actors can't act. They had a pretty decent cast on board.
Yeah, I've said this in a podcast, about actually our very first podcast regarding Wonder Woman. They have the tools, they just keep coming to work drunk. And
yeah.
that is my summary of the decision making in those films. So.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
So I say it's nap o'clock, or at the very least, light heel o'clock.
Yeah. Get a lot of mileage out of this light hill.
Yeah.
I know I may have your healing stuff, but look, that's barely touched.
Yeah, that's a good amount for the amount of mana that you're spending on it.
So, 2020, some highlights, at least for us. We got a house.
Yeah.
And
that is nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
I finished a bunch of crochet projects.
Yep. I got now. Yeah. I'll link you the project I did. It's a fan fiction of Soul Calibur 3, which is it's basically a retelling of Soul Calibur 3.
Right. Yeah, taking it from one set viewpoint and more than one viewpoint, but one set of events.
Yeah. And while I do generally like how fighting it kind of lets you choose a protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really work for a single piece, and some of the characters are just inherently silly.
Yes.
And so the focus on Siegfried and like the rest of what I consider the quote-unquote main cast of Soul Calibur.
Because there's the ones that have to do with the main nightmare plot, and then there's
and then there's basically the protagonist of the previous game, or at least what the next game chose as the winner. And Soul Calibur 3 is when I was first like really interested in like the the characters in the series. None of it stuck from the second game, but a lot of it stuck in 3. So I'll link that in the bottom. Let's see. Hire an editor for my non-fan fiction stuff, which is exciting. Got a lot nice feedback. What is that?
That's Ghost or Wraith of some sort.
All right. Now, I'm not saying the fireball is a solution to everything.
But a fireball is a solution to many things.
Yes.
I don't know if that did anything.
Thank you, sound.
That was oddly silent.
The sound of silence. It's annoying when it happens, really. Okay.
So, back against the wall.
Yep. Yeah, because healing magic always takes less time.
Yeah. So here's a question for you. What makes a original work ripe for fan fiction?
I think the answer to that is very subjective.
Well, for you then.
Well, first you have to like the work.
Mm-hmm.
It has to speak to you on a good level. Like I would never do fan fiction of say like a Final Fantasy X, but also the fact that as much as I prefer the old fighting game way of doing endings and storyline, I guess again it's completely subjective.
Again for you.
The characters have to be interesting enough. That's no real science to it. And I think the story, the way it's presented, has to be vague enough for you to have fun, filling in the details. Like, I've written small scenes for Morrowind, because all the storytelling is through gameplay in that game and reading the text and the conversation. It's not a cinematic. What?
Well, that was a noise.
It's not cinematic.
Right.
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your save file is? And sometimes it's interesting just to put that story on the paper or on the film.
I think a couple factors that make work right for fan fiction for me. Compelling characters.
Yep.
I am worried by that noise. Promising world building. That hints at the potential for more. But for me, it's actually a little more ripe for fanfiction if the original story falls slightly flat or leaves gaps.
Yeah.
It needs to feel like there's potential for more to be filled in.
Like, the big disadvantage...
It'll tell you if it's a door.
The big disadvantage of the way, Soul Calibur had done stories in the past is you don't have a whole lot of interaction between the characters. Besides, the fight scenes. When you have it down to like a book or a film, you need to both use downtime and use downtime effectively.
A fighting game doesn't have downtime. It's
not
pretty
really.
much running on the principle of, oh yeah.
I guess it does technically have downtime in Soul Calibur 3 the way they do with the text in between the fights, but it doesn't really give itself a chance to relax.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
I'm not going in that. I know it's only water and probably won't kill me, but I'm not going in there.
Fair enough.
And you should never go into fan fiction thinking you're going to fix the story.
I mean, admittedly, I have written fan fiction to correct things that annoyed me about original stories.
Well, fair enough, but
it's not so much fixing the original as helping realize the potential of what could have been there. There's some moments of, well, that was a wasted opportunity.
Alright, fair. Alright, forget I said that.
That being said, there has to be enough potential there for it to be worth fixing.
Yeah.
If something's just flat out annoying, then I don't know that I'll bother.
Yeah, like I was thinking of basically taking the overall concept of the story for, say, Fire Emblem Fates, and turning it into a good story, which it wasn't.
Yeah. I was going to say, for an example for myself, of a series that I found it easy to write fanfiction for and a series that I didn't bother. Dragonlance I actually ended up writing quite a lot for back in middle school, when I was mildly obsessed with the series. There was a lot of room for potential in the characters, and even if Weiss and Hickman weren't the strongest authors, they did realize a world. You can kind of tell it was based on the real D&D setting.
Well, I guess, I've heard arguments, that the Marvel movies are ultimately superior to the comic books. And I've heard it said about Stanley, rest his soul, and, I am happy for his contributions, but he comes up with great characters, but his dialogue is iffy.
And for a series that I did not ever bother trying to write fanfiction for, anything by Stephen R. Donaldson. He's bad. There used to be a website titled Stephen R. Donaldson Ate My Dictionary.
Yeah.
Because to quote Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, half of what he says means something else, and the other half doesn't mean anything at all.
Yeah. His idea of purity is that you are specifically unambergris.
Yeah, unambergris is one of his favorite words.
Yeah, ambergris is like whale
vomit.
Whale vomit.
It's used to making perfume.
Harvested for. Well, I've also heard coffee and tea as well.
Yes, the perfume is the main use for that. It's basically, it holds on to scent and flavor really well.
I love the death sprites for these guys. It's splat.
Yeah. Ooh, a potion.
Alright.
We don't know what potion that is. Let's save, because potions are cool.
But you kind of have to be glued in the work to begin with. What? What the?
Abba?
More like... It look like arrows? What's going on there?
I don't know. Something spidery, I no doubt. Oh, there's some treasure.
See, am I so fortified? Your agility is fortified. Okay, thank you.
I got some gold out of that. I'm confused by that message.
Aziz, context! Yeah, alright. I'm done with this room. Done with it. Done with it. Done with it. Done with it.
I have no idea what that means.
I told you I'm done with it.
I gather that you might be done with it.
But, yeah, again, it's one of those, the paraphrase Jack Packer, it's, like a number of other things, it depends.
Yes, of course.
And I know that's not the most exciting answer, but sometimes there really is no secret to it. Yeah, like, do you feel that there is more to the story to explore?
That's the main thing. Was it thoroughly explored in the first place? Because there have been some universes that I've thoroughly enjoyed, but would not be inclined to write fiction for because the story itself seems finished.
Like, Valerian had a lot of potential. Shame that that it was kind of wasted.
Yeah. So Soul Calibur is one that you do enjoy writing fiction for, and you've written on Morrowind and bits with the Elder Scrolls characters.
Yeah.
What series would you not consider writing fan fiction for?
Well, let's go to the ones that are right, because I don't want to just spend an hour bashing on everything.
Yeah, no, I don't mean for bashing. Just what's something you enjoyed but would not write fanfic for?
Honestly, a lot of Fire Emblem.
Mm-hmm.
I think the stories are pretty well fleshed out as a whole. Let's see. Like Sea of Cain.
Mm-hmm.
Because there really is no two ways about how the story is going to go. It's that they have a very fleshed out world, and I think while a sequel would be quote unquote interesting,
Mm-hmm.
I think it ended on the note it needed to.
Story's been told.
Because I wouldn't say the series is entirely pessimistic, but hopeful, idealism is not the point of the story either.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get to see that, without spoiling it for.
We will be going through more videos on that.
Yeah, and unlike a lot of films, calling for spoilers on this that does kind of mean something.
Okay.
And it's kind of fitting for the time, but again, we'll see as we go.
Sploot.
Sploot is a very different thing, as I've learned recently.
I was gonna say,
Not a bad thing, but like...
it's a Corgi falling down with all of his legs facing in a lot of different directions.
Yep, it's adorable. And someone decided to come up with a word for that.
Of course they did.
I mean, we have defenestration, so I guess that's the catch-all for defending random, word. Okay.
I am perturbed by this. I'm not sure what to make of this. Between the gongs and that weird...
Something approaching.
Possibly. Again, this is all new territory for me. This is not an area I actually explored as a kid.
Yeah, let's take a couple rights, explore that central area.
Okay. Before you lies a small arena surrounded by water. Can we go back and forth so I can see what the rest of that says? Something glitters on one of the stones on one island. Huh. There are spiders.
Okay.
There's a good reason to save, I think.
Mm-hmm. More importantly, let's take care of the spiders from over here.
Good call.
Let's see.
Short bow of strength.
Yep.
See, do you want to turn the light back on?
Aziz, etc. Okay. This is the engine going. See, we can elevate a little bit, a tiny bit, maybe. Okay. Get my sword out just in case.
You probably want to put your shield back on too.
Oh yeah.
Let's see.
Let's see, how's that doing? All right, still all right. Let's see, how's that doing? Almost now. All right. Yeah, bows tend to be a bit more fragile. Jerk. Yes.
You made it. Mark, plate helm.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
It'll probably sell for a decent amount even if you can't wear it.
Yeah, I think if we want to specify as like steel helm, then I definitely can't. It definitely doesn't have magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fire Emblem and Legacy again, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think.
I guess that's at least partially because they are heavily story-based and complete their stories.
Well,
I mean, not necessarily, but my guess is that's part of the factor. The story for most Fire Emblem games feels pretty complete.
yeah. And I kind of want to break down, quote-unquote, story-based.
Yes, I know this one.
Because... guess what? What you're witnessing in front of you is a part of a story.
Yes, I am aware of how you went and killed... Ooh, longbow might be magic.
Sure. And what annoys me is, you know, people thinking that cutscenes are like the only way to portray story.
Oh yes, I agree that's not. I guess... When I say story-based, the story is why you come to the game.
Well... See, stuff with a lot of cutscenes, I don't think they're more story-based. I think they're just a lot more cutscene focused.
I'm not disagreeing with you here. What is...
But,
Oh, Minotaurs. Cool.
sorry, my usual tangent. Anyway.
No worries. No, I'm familiar with your mentality here, and I agree. The gameplay does form a story.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm talking about is more why you came to this. Things don't need to be cutscene heavy in order to be story heavy.
Right.
But it is a matter of, are you primarily here because of the story told, or is it, say, something almost entirely procedurally generated, and I don't think you can reach it from here. Not sure what you're drawing.
Oh.
For example, I would actually argue that this game is fairly story-based, because you want to see what happens next, and fighting the monsters and solving the puzzles plays into that.
Yeah.
Whereas there are games that
Where is this gem? I could have sworn it.
It's here somewhere. Something glitters on one of the islands, so... There wants to be a box or treasure pile or something.
It's not that, is it?
I don't think so. I think that's just landscape. Yeah, it's not real.
Because to me, games are stories.
Oh, was that at your feet?
Oh.
It's not a gem, that's a key. And now...
Go a little closer.
Maybe switch weapons.
Oh, I don't think that's really...
Your arrow's in the way.
I don't think it is.
I found the key.
Alright, so that should open something up.
We'll find out when it opens later. Again, all games form a story, but not all games are games that you come to primarily for the story. And that does obviously leave room for personal interpretation.
Yeah, I guess, you know, looking up the raw definition of story is basically anything that kind of, any fictional engagement that unfolds in front of you. And what kind of annoys me about, you know, is it story focus, is that it kind of discounts games without cutscenes.
Not inherently.
Well, what happens is, you know, a lot of people, I feel, treats cutscenes as the only mode of storytelling.
I mean, a lot of people are also wrong, but
Yeah, and so, like what people have commented about The Last of Us is that the story, the heart-wrenching moments are all in the cutscenes, and there's like nothing in the gameplay that really has anything to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's being rewarded as like, oh, this true exemplar of gameplay storytelling.
You know what I'd say is a better version of that? I'm going to say in Fallout 4, when your son gives you a weapon he made himself, and when we got rid of the weapon we had originally gotten from the Brotherhood of Steel because we wanted to use the one our son made.
Yeah, and well, a lot of that is through the interaction, as
exactly
as it should be. Like, I got something from the Brotherhood of Steel, but because my robot kid, gave me, another rifle, and I basically went with that and ditched the other one. Mm-hmm. And that's a small, little segment of the story from just, interactions. And, not every meaningful interaction in a game has to have some kind of clicker or counter to it.
Mm-hmm.
It could just be what you do. And
that's one that ended up being a highly symbolic moment of us leaving behind the last of our anti-synth anything.
Yeah, and
in favor for the very human son that we have, in spite of him being synthetic.
Right. And to me, that's a lot more, meaningful than, cutscenes of just people being sad. It's...
Well, I guess a lot of it comes down to as well, are you here to watch a movie or play a video game?
Yeah, exactly.
Or indeed, read a book, just because what games do well is emergent story playing. Stories that arise from the mechanics themselves.
Yeah, like this has actually come up, in a bit of debate with Watch Dogs Legion.
Mm-hmm. Which I have not played.
Yeah, but I did watch reviews. I did see some details of what it did. Where it's basically there's no one really like a central character, or there's not a whole lot of set pieces. It's really about these average people becoming agents of this organization.
And yes, I recall the reviews on this one, and you more or less have to come up for yourself with why. And it would be very easy to treat it purely as a numbers game if you don't feel like putting in the work to figure out the story behind it.
Yeah. And so I've heard some debates of like, oh, this isn't actually role playing, and I take issue with that.
See, until feeling killed, might as well. He's by spiders.
Close enough. Okay. I take issue with that because, again, I feel that's, basically taking interaction out of the equation of the story being told.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yes, the Dragonborn, marrying someone specifically, due to a mutual interest in alchemy, that's part of that character's story.
Mm-hmm.
And, how he, takes down, the dragon, how he, goes about his day, his MO for taking care of, situations from, illness, to combat and everything else. That's all part of the story. That's all the character, and there are no stories without characters.
Mm-hmm. All this passage bears marks of heavy use.
Oh boy. Come on, Shelob, or whatever her name is. Show me. Okay, that's where we gotta go.
Probably. Hi.
And Morrowind tells a story without a whole lot of whole cinematic conventions.
Mm-hmm.
And despite it being quote unquote less cinematic, it's probably the best storyline in the entire series.
Mm-hmm.
And a game is about interaction. At some point I'll do like a demonstration of Divinity Original Sin too. Just like, you know, the stories and theme just coming from the interactions in the setting.
Mm-hmm. Watching it with more of a mechanics focus.
Yeah. Because, yeah, and guess what? Some movies, you know, they are, like, Expendables 2 is basically there for the action, but it is still a story.
Yes.
You know, it's a very pulpy story, with a lot of...
Yeah, pulp's fun.
Yeah. Well, okay, you know, actually, I don't know if I call it pulpy, but not in the same way, say, like, Predator or a Conan story is.
Mm-hmm.
But...
I mean, Predator is basically a Conan story.
Yeah, it's basically a modern-day Conan story.
You see a door with a golden lock.
Well, I have a golden key. Yay. Puzzle of the ages.
I mean, to be fair, that's what a lot of the puzzle solving from this era comes down to.
Yes.
That and riddles.
Yeah, especially from a first-person perspective. Ooh, everything's shiny. You know what that means?
We're
Trouble.
getting into a cult.
We are not a cult.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to jump in that hole.
We'll see about that.
Okay, let's see the map.
I'm a wizard, mind you.
You're gonna have to jump in that hole.
Well, I do have an invisibility spell for a reason, I guess.
Yep. Well, we've been promised a web-like area, and this is probably it.
Okay. Nothing here.
I don't know why, but that immediately put me through to your usual sandwich order of nothing on it, nothing with it.
Anyway.
Which makes for a very boring dungeon. Let's see. And that's why we have invisibility.
Right, you jerk. Let me climb. Thank you.
There we go.
I'm not sure what your backstabbing is a thing in this game.
Not really, not yet. I don't think it had the more advanced engine yet.
So I guess the point of this tangent, you know, and you know, Eve has heard me rant about this about 14 million times, but for the listeners, possibly, listen to it once. Learn the difference between story focused and cutscene focused. Because sometimes you have geometry wars, which really is just, you know, the task of dodging and shooting.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, Ninja Gaiden 2 is a story. A very stupid story, but it's still a story.
And stories don't necessarily require particularly highly done graphics. I'll say Just Shapes and Beats is actually a pretty good story-focused game. In spite of... Or it has a good story, it is not story-focused.
Yeah, and the story is just portrayed through a lot of, you know, emotions from the very minimalistic characters.
Since it is really just shapes and beats.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to jinx it, but it feels like we haven't seen as many ghouls and skeletons as we have in other areas. But we're still getting plenty of spiders.
I guess it bugs me because, you know, and this is kind of like the vibe between, you know, indie and AAA, where, like, you know, the response to, what do you call it? Last of Us 2 this year has been extremely mixed.
Mm-hmm.
And with, well, partially it was bad timing. It was kind of the wrong year to have, like, an overly gritty game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, an overly depressing, you know...
People are not really going to that in their 2020.
Yeah. And you know, it's really not the developer's fault, you know, on this, but it's still, you know, kind of devices where, you know, we're lauding these games as, the Citizen Kane or whatever. But the thing is, a lot of its acclaim has very little to do with the fact that it's a video game. It's very much just a pattern of action filled cutscene to
It's more a matter of this video game makes an excellent movie.
Yeah, and I've seen like a TV show apparently in the works for that series. I'm like, just watch the cutscenes.
Honestly, it might work better as a TV show than it did as a game.
Well, I think a lot of games would, because there's a lot of world building, in a game that a lot more than you would get in a 2 to 3 hour movie.
Yeah.
I could tell you all about the world in Dragon Age, but I couldn't really tell you a whole lot about the world of Lord of the Rings from just the 9 hours we got. There's a lot of Middle Earth that we just don't see on film. And like Morgoth barely gets mentioned. I'm pretty sure it gets mentioned in the book, but he doesn't. But he doesn't get a mention really in the films.
Well, that's not what the film was about, so.
Yeah, but, and to be fair, Morgoth isn't really what the story's about anyway.
Yeah.
It's the reason he exists, but it's not. It's not really what Sauron's about at the moment.
At some point, I need to introduce you to the Lay of Beleriand.
Yeah.
Particularly the Lay of Leithian.
And I feel that the cutscenes are being rewarded more than gameplay innovation.
Possibly because cutscenes are easier to show off.
Well, yeah, marketers love cutscenes because they look nice and
like
trendy.
a movie, and they know how to market movies.
Yeah, and show me all the cutscenes you want, and I doubt it'll be as meaningful as the interactions I had in the Original Sin 2.
And we will show off that at some point because there are some neat little interactions that you can do with that.
Yeah, it's a very complex game, and yeah, and so I guess we kind of go from here to like what is role playing in a video game specifically, because in a tabletop a lot of the role playing is from
you want the other one.
Banter between players, which can be as lax or severe as you want. I'm never that severe. I enjoy just being an Australian who knows his way way through deadly monsters.
I don't think you need to heal right now.
No, but I want to do that.
Okay.
My agility is up. That means I get hit less, and I hit more.
That is fair.
Because there's a mindset RPG circles where role playing is through dialogue systems.
I'm inclined to say for computer RPGs, role playing is choices and actions made because of the character rather than because of the mechanics.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, obviously all choices happen within the mechanics, but
like people look at dialogue system, but the thing is, a lot of the times they kind of boil down to exams rather than role playing. Like and since
have you learned the words to make this character like you?
And since your performance kind of depends on it, there's very little reason not to just load up a previous save if you screw up. There's nothing in this corridor. Anyway.
Well, it is a twisted web.
Yeah. And so, role playing, in Dragon Age, just feels like an exam because I'm trying to prepare this army and I need everyone at their highest thing. So I'm basically going to be very, very two-faced about every character interaction. I'm going to be nice to Alistair. I'm going to be an absolute dick to the Sten. And
Sten, I have to be nice to somebody. Please go stand in that corner for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have to be, a selfish jerk, agreeing with Morgan. And
And as a result, you don't really have a consistent character for yourself.
Yeah, and I know some people say, well, roleplay, lose characters as a consequence, and I'm like, it's.
And then the game goes worse.
Yeah,
it feels like a failure state.
Yeah,
role playing leads to a worse outcome.
Yeah, like Divinity Original Sin 2. Yeah, I know I praise this game a lot, but it does a little better where, really only the really major decisions matter, and your banter with the characters. Don't have a constant meter measuring every single thing. Because in a real life conversation, you can take back or said something wrong or eat your foot without a whole lot of consequence. In a video game, it's kind of like what's said is now law.
Yeah.
And
see, did you want to go in that door there or no?
First, I'm gonna check here.
Okay. This is pretty good about telling you when something is important, so.
Yeah. So then we get the Elder Scrolls where it's kind of relaxed with it in terms of like dialogue, choices.
In the early Elder Scrolls, you didn't really have dialogue choices. I mean, you can say no, I won't save the world, but that won't help you.
And there's one more role-playing element that I think people kind of take for granted in that game, where in Skyrim you can basically take any old sword and put it in like legendary condition. Mm-hmm. Well, in truth, you can optimize anything. You can optimize something to be a little bit better. You don't really have to succeed. So, like
Hi, who are you?
What are you? Are you a barbarian?
You're an angry man with an axe.
Yeah.
You're a healing potion. Okay, who are you?
Take your axe. Yep,
yeah,
barbarian.
A barbarian. And this is what Lighthill was made for. I say we save.
Yeah, because that was kind of out of nowhere. So, and one thing I did was at the end of companions for this particular character, I always knew him to be sword and shield. Mm-hmm. I get the Shield of Yuskin where it's like, you know what, that's his character's shield now.
And it is not the best shield in the game, but it's an important shield.
Yeah, it's important to the character. I feel like I can act a bit better in that game than I would in Dragon Age. I don't have to do the Mage's Guild, because that's not in character. And like you could just do that in that game. You can be the kind of elf that takes up alchemy and also a drinking habit because he needs to get the taste out of his mouth.
Mm-hmm. And again, I feel like these are choices that you're making for the sake of the character rather than the sake of the gameplay.
Right. Yeah, there's no optimization for drinking, really. But,
I mean, there are advantages and disadvantages to carrying mead with you, but honestly, the mead is mostly just window dressing in this world.
Yeah. So, when people say, Legion isn't role-playing, I'm like, then I think you really need to, re-examine, our RPGs. Mm-hmm. It's like, I can BS, and no, none of that is programmed into the game, but,
But that is what makes it roleplay, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're doing it for the sake of the game, it would be something else.
Yeah.
I say let's stay on this side of the canyon until... Hi, that's a lot of spiders.
Okay, I think they're dead. I'm still gonna heal, though.
Good call. Save early, save often.
Yep. Oh, okay.
One more. See, one spider is not a huge threat to you at this point.
No, I basically just, Dynasty Warriors them. Go away. I think we might be at the source.
Maybe.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's there.
Quite possibly. That appears to be lava. And that appears to be more spiders. Between the spiders and the lava, I feel like we might be close to something. Oh, come
Nuts.
on.
What was it again?
Well, I think first we,
What was it?
Cure paralysis?
There.
Let's find somewhere where you can nap.
Alright, I need a...
Diamond K.
Okay.
And a nap.
Let's see, is there like...
My guess is probably somewhere down to the right. You can nap, by the way, in these holes.
Oh, okay. I might do that.
It's a little safer. No. Not in that hole in particular. Oh.
It's cool. It's cool. We'll make it. Yeah, screw it. Okay.
We're coming across more human enemies down here.
Okay, getting there.
Okay, let's save.
Yeah.
Fortified, excellent. Let's see where we are.
So,
Yeah, I think this is probably the area that'll give us the diamond study K.
yeah.
Not there, it won't. I mean, I've been wrong before. Okay, up and around, baby. Now, I'm inclined to say if a heart is held in a gem, then it would make sense for the gem to be hidden behind a gemstone-covered lock, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see if we're gonna have to jump down there.
Well, first I'm gonna check this area.
So I guess, would you rather check the watery bits or the...
Let's try the water.
Good call. There's a spider. I will say, these dungeons are definitely handcrafted in a way that Niagara Falls are not.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not to say that there are never procedurally generated dungeons here, but it's different.
Yeah, like, yeah, you have the text.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and everything.
Things aren't nearly as sprawling as Daggerfall tends to be either. So again, there are procedurally generated dungeons out in the wilderness, but that's different.
Well, I think what Daggerfall did, as demonstrated when we did the Let's Play of it, is you had kind of like pre-built stuff, and then
they were kind of cobbled together.
Yeah. Jump, please.
Doesn't want to.
We talked about this. Or I could just walk across.
Huh.
Fair enough.
Contains spiders.
Where did I put those spiders?
Here, apparently.
To play that game. Oh. Dead.
Actually, we've been at this for about an hour. Do we want to break this part into the 2 videos?
Well, let's see. Let's try to...
Because, well, I do definitely want to see more. Ghouls around here somewhere.
Okay.
So, I used to have dreams from this perspective when I was a kid.
Yeah, kind of like you're just
this.
stuck. Because I remember one kind of jarring dream where I was like stuck in a crate in the middle of a muddy forest.
Well, in this case, specifically with the floor overhead like that and the water rocking. Huh, I had forgotten about that. They were vivid at the time, though. I remember this.
Let's see. We'll get somewhere, folks.
I'm inclined to say let's split it here and then come back with another video of returning to the dungeon. Can't camp here.
Nuts. Well, I'm not in the worst shape. Let me just look at my equipment.
Almost new. You're fine.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Also almost new. Yep. I think you're doing fine.
Okay. Alright, fair enough. Alright, so until next time.
My name is Eva.
And this is Frank. Happy New Year, and we'll see you all again soon.
We'll see you soon. Have a good one.